Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Thank you, Alex. Okay, all right. So we'll start. I'll start probably in 2 minutes. We're waiting for the rest. Okay. Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Okay, I have attendees already. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. So we will be talking about the forecast uh, for June until July 2021. Okay, to give you a forecast using your day master as well as your Feng Shui sectors. Okay, and before we dive in, I'd like to give you first an overview of what June is, or what's the energy or vibration for June. Okay, but before we dive into our main topic, I won't be able to see your questions. So do just type your questions and I'll get back to you. I'll be using the slides, so I'm doing some screen sharing so you know what I'm actually talking about. But before I dive in, yes, I was asked to introduce myself because my husband noticed that I don't introduce myself during my videos. So now I'm introducing myself. I'm Sofia Relosa. I am a Pachi, Feng Shui, and Kimendunja consultant. I was, before I became a business owner, I was an HR practitioner, a training manager. And then after 7 years, I dove into being a business owner. And if you've seen most of my videos, it talks about my journey in finding out what Chinese metaphysics is. And what I did was I utilized it in my life and so on. And I am available in all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest. It's quite new, my Pinterest account. I'm also in YouTube and LinkedIn. Okay. Before we go further, I'd like to invite you as well for my in my Facebook group. It's Sofia Relos's Feng Shui Pachi and Kimen group. I give more information in this group, especially this coming solar eclipse this June 10. This is going to be a month wherein there's another solar eclipse. Recently, we had a lunar eclipse. I don't know if you check the sun, but it's not as detrimental as compared to the solar eclipse. And when it comes to the solar eclipse, I'm very adamant when it comes to you not looking at the eclipse. It affects your vibration for the rest of the year. And according to my teacher, 1 minute is equivalent to 1 year of inauspiciousness. Okay, so avoid the solar eclipse this June 10. I will give more information in the coming days in my Facebook group. And I will also give free date selection, not free date selection, yes, date selection, yes, using the activation that you can actually do for the noble stars. Okay, but before I move on, okay, let me check if you have questions. No questions so far, or any topic you want to raise, do ask it. Let's use this venue to learn more about Chinese metaphysics as we prepare ourselves for the rest of the year. This is the actually, when we talk about the Chinese New Year, the start of the year starts in February. So this is not exactly the mid-year. The mid-year will actually start in July. But come July, it's going to be a goat month. So there's a clash. It's a year breaker, wherein there's a lot of change that can happen within the month of July, and this can be triggered further because of the eclipse that may happen next week. Okay, so if you want to learn more about the eclipse, please join my group. I give more information from this group. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we're going to go to the day master forecast. And to plot your patchy chart, please refer to, hold on, I will send you the link on how to do your patchy calculator. Okay. All right, that's Apache calculator. Just register, it's free. Just put in all the details and your birth hour to give you a much more comprehensive data, because as much as possible, we would like to compare you using the 4 animals in our chart, or the 4 pillars in our charts. So as much as possible, do input even your birth hour to give you more information. Okay? Okay, so now let's go to the Jawood. Anybody who's a Jawood who's watching right now? None? None yet? Okay. That's fine. All right. So for the Jawood, you might find yourself getting a bit more of some arguments, issues regarding some arguments or disputes if you're not able to manage your the words that you say, okay, for the month of June. And this may stem from or this may cause, right, because of the arguments or disputes or the unwanted attention that you may be getting for the rest of the month. This may actually change the relationship that you have with people around you. Okay, so be very mindful of the words that you say or the actions that you do to avoid offending others and to avoid the changes. If you refuse to want, and actually, I wouldn't advise to refuse, but if you wish that the changes is something that's pleasant. Okay, so make sure that you're very mindful of the words or your actions that you do towards others to avoid magnifying any trigger that can cause disputes or yes, okay, or arguments. All right. Next, for the Yi Wood, it's Rob Well sitting on eating gods. So you might find yourself spending a bit more in terms of learning, or you might have to actually experience spending in terms of improving your knowledge or your ideas. Okay, or you might have to experience spending in terms of your own creation. Okay, probably a creation of a new product, a new business, and so on and so forth. And you might see yourself spending a lot for this month. Or this could also mean that you may experience a lot of competition in your field or ideas. And the problem with, competition is actually good. The problem with competition is when we start comparing ourselves to our competition. That's when this becomes a disservice to ourselves. Always remember, if you want to compete with anybody, compete with the previous self, or your previous performance, instead of comparing yourself to others. All right, that's the best way to handle competition, or in some ways you can use the competition as a way to actually get to know what's in store or what's probably in vogue or what's probably in the current trend that you can actually emulate or follow. Okay? All right. Before I move on, I'll check if you have questions. Okay, Yan FS, you are a Yiwood. Yiwood or Jawood? I think there's a delay in terms of my streaming. But anyways, I'll get back to you, Yan, because that's quite there's a lag, I think. Okay. All right, so moving on to the next day master. All right, so I hope that's clear when it comes to the Yiwood. Don't let your competition get the best of you. Use that information or whatever practice that they're actually doing as a way to actually allow you to be part of the trend, but do not ever compare yourself to your competition or the people that you're surrounded with. It's the worst way, to push yourself to improve. What you do is you compare yourself or you compete with your old self, and then just look at your surrounding as a means of information that would allow you to be part of the trend. I hope that makes sense, but yes. Okay. All right, so next is the Bing Fire. It's indirect resource on Rob Wealth. So there might be instances wherein you are compelled to mingle and go out. That's not connected to your current workplace, all right? Or you may have to spend things or things, yes, that's not related to your current workplace, but you might have to spend on something that may improve on your network that's not directly related to you. I hope that makes sense. And then, but the good thing is, because of you going out and trying to build your own network and increasing the people that you actually know, even beyond your current network, this would actually bring you a lot of attention, or people will actually notice you from this effort. My advice for the Bing Fire is to actually be very be patient with your intuition, or you listen to your intuition. This is one of your superpower for the rest of the month. Pay attention to what it says. Pay attention to your gut feeling. It is going to be your North Star, okay, or your guiding light when it comes to decision making for the rest of for June. Okay, all right. Next, for the next the next day master is direct resource setting on friend. You might find yourself learning new things that's related to your current field, okay? Or you might actually go out and try to explore and learning new things that would allow you to increase new ideas for your workplace. Okay, so if there is something that's been bugging you to actually that you should learn, and you're probably having second thoughts, don't. It's best to actually spend that money on that learning that you've been trying to, stock or try to learn about. So it's best to dive in and learn that subject. All right. If you're currently in the business side, you may experience people supporting you in your business venture or in your own creation. Okay, so good. So it's best to capitalize on the stars that you have for the month. Is again, you go out, say hi, hello, mingle with other people. All right. Okay. Before I go further. Okay, just Rawad. All right. I hope that's clear. Yan, FS, for the forecast. If you have any questions, do type and we'll discuss at the end of the entire video. Okay? All right. Aya is Geng Metal. Great. We're almost there. Geng Metal. Okay. Great. Okay, so for the Wu Earth, this is 7 killings on direct resource. So you may experience a lot of difficulty or problem that you have to face that concerns your current workplace or your main source of income, or the income where your main source of income. Okay, and because of this might even compel you to spend money in order to solve those problems. Okay, so my advice, of course, Apache, right? It gives us the problem. It also gives us the solution. So if ever the problem that come is something that is so difficult for you to handle, do reach out, because there are people that are willing to help you out and they're willing to give you support. Do ask for help. Don't be afraid. It's not a sign of weakness, asking for help. So ask for help in the event that the problem comes and you find it so difficult for you to handle. All right, good. Next is the G Earth. G Earth is okay. So there are changes that you may experience for the rest of the month of June, and However, okay, and because of the changes that can happen within this month or June, this might bring you a bit more emotional than usual, and you might feel isolated and so on. But you know what? There are friends that are you may not notice that there are friends who care, or family, or noble people that are willing to help you out and to support you. My suggestion is, if the emotion is too overwhelming, learn to meditate, because meditation will give you the clarity that you need in order to allow you to focus on the things that are more important. So meditate and think about your noble people that have supported you all throughout in every activities that you do, and then go back to them and probably share with them the experiences that you're experiencing. And of course, these people are willing to help you out. All right, so my advice also for the G Earth is to don't let your emotions get the best of you. Despite the changes, again, changes can be difficult at first, but as you go through the motion and trying to adapt, you'll realize that these changes are actually important for you, or actually beneficial for you. So just don't let the emotion get the best of you, and don't make the important decisions, especially when you're emotional. Okay? All right. Next. For the Geng Metal, wow, there's a direct wealth for the rest of the month. So there is an opportunity for you to actually get some wealth opportunities. And because of the wealth opportunities, or the wealth or bonus that you may receive for the rest of your month, it's going to trigger some changes in terms of your relationship, your personal relationship. And because of this bonus or monetary increment that you may have for the rest of the month, this will also trigger, or you may experience more and more people supporting you, or more and more noble people recognizing your efforts, and so on and so forth. Okay, so use this time. Of course, there's change, so might as well use the change to your advantage. So my advice again, my advice is to go out and mingle, rub shoulders with the noble people that you look up to, and get that support or mentorship that you've been asking for. So there. Okay. Next, for the Sin Metal. Okay, direct wealth on 7 killings. Okay, if you're not careful and you haven't been reviewing the documents that you signed and so on, you may experience some legal issues if you're not careful for this month. So make sure that you study all the documents to avoid this to avoid this legal entanglement into a bigger problem that's blown out of proportion. Okay, so make sure that you make some review, because this is the direct wealth sitting on 7 killings. So this might affect your main source of income, and may bring legal entanglements, or disagreements, or arguments. Okay. All right. Next, for the day, before I proceed, you might have some questions. Okay. All right. No questions. Okay. Next is Ren Water. Ren Water is there is something that you might actually create this month, or you may use this. You might find this month that you're more creative, or there are a lot of ideas coming in, and this pertains to a business venture, or a solution that you have for your current career, and so forth. So my advice for the Ren Water is to use this month and harness that creativity. Write down all the ideas that you can actually get and gather all throughout the month. And then my also advice is to actually transform this and manifest this into reality. Okay, though there are unforeseen stresses that can occur within the month as you create and materialize these ideas, then it's a good problem. The problem that's brought by this creation is a good problem. So I would rather that this is your problem than something else. Okay, so use this moments of creativity, or you can or actually eating God can also mean leisure. Okay, you might even have to travel for the rest of this month or within this month. So take that opportunity, okay, and use that opportunity, as this will give you more ideas or new, better perspective. Okay. Next, for the GUI water. For the GUI water, okay, a lot of attention will be given to you. Now, if you're not able to handle this well, this can be unforeseen stress, pain points all throughout June and July. My advice is to actually the fact that the hurting officer is sitting on indirect wealth, you capitalize on that attention. So this may actually bring a lot of opportunities. Let the naysayers keep on hating. Let the haters hate. Okay. But my advice is to capitalize on that attention, because this may actually open doors for you. Okay. So if ever that you're feeling stressed, that's fine. You know how many people are actually dying to get the attention that you're getting. So, okay. So might as well use it to your advantage. Okay. Okay. Before we move further, no questions so far? Nan? For the day masters, for clarifications and so on. It's been a while since I did this live on Facebook. And to be honest, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous when I do live sessions. But I hope that you're learning. I hope you're learning. Okay. Currently working from home, which sector is best to... Hi, Ms. Joanne. Thank you so much. Okay, Okay. All right. Currently working from home, which sector is best to get my career more stable for the rest of the month? I can give you at least for the rest of this month. But of course, that's going into Feng Shui. This is the second part of our video. But before we dive in, let's first check if you have any questions in regards to the Day Masters. And then we'll proceed to the Feng Shui, which will answer the question of Miss Aya. Good afternoon, Miss Joanne. No questions, clarifications, all good? Everything's clear? Okay. Okay. There is no question, so I'm assuming everything is clear, so you don't need clarifications. Okay, good. That is good, because I am actually a good presenter, probably. Okay, all right. Hold on. Now we're moving on to the next slide. Okay, so now we're going to do the Feng Shui door location. So in addition to door location, if you're actually staying in the sector or you're looking into what sector to activate, so you want to use this as a working place, that's the best way actually how to utilize the monthly sector. Monthly sectors, yes. It can be tiring, but it does give benefits. So my advice is to just rotate. If say your door location is located in the not so good sector and you want to give yourself more opportunities despite your door location is at the bad sector, then you activate the best or other sectors that you actually need. All right, that's how we actually do it. So don't let the things that's out of your control to not utilize the other positive sectors that would actually serve you. Okay, so this is for the month of June to July. But of course, what do they mean? Okay, so now for the north, actually, let's start for the center. I noticed that my presentation doesn't have a center. I noticed that. So anyways, so we'll start with the center. Okay, so if you wish to gain authority, I think, Aya, this is what you need. If you want to gain authority or importance or someone that is influential in terms of your career, then center is a good sector to activate for the rest of this month. What you can do is place a table in the middle and start working in that sector. Okay, so that's one way to actually do it. The center is actually good for both career and personal relationships. Okay, so I think this is what you need, Aya. Okay, so next is the north. It's a good sector for financial success. I wrote down everything just to avoid forgetting any significant information. So another sector to actually activate that you can actually use for the month of June is north. However, be careful, as this can trigger some illness issues that would be related to lungs or mouth, or sorry, not lungs, sorry, throat or the mouth. But this is actually a good sector in terms of financial success, okay, and power and status. But if you have your body's quite sensitive, or you have pre-existing condition that is in your mouth, that related to your mouth or your throat, then stay away from the north sector. Okay, all right. Next is east. This may cause some instability in terms of emotion. If somebody's staying in this sector, you might find them to be more irritable than usual. It's because of the combination that we have for the east sector. But in terms of wealth of opportunities that's related to studies or intellectual property, then this is actually a good sector to activate. Or at least if we want our students, our students at home to learn and see progression in terms of their studies, then this is a good sector to activate for the month of June. Okay, but just be patient in terms of their emotion. They can be very irritable. Okay. Next is for the northeast. All right, northeast is good for socializing or partnership. So if you're looking into partnership for the rest of the month, then you want to activate the northeast sector. And the best part about the northeast sector, it actually brings extra boost when it comes to reputation. So if you've been looking into getting that positive or good reputation in terms of your peers 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 this is the best sector to activate or work in for the rest of the month. Okay, next is west. Okay, next is west. If you're currently into real estate and you have been investing for quite a while, you can actually see some improvement for the rest of the month, or you may actually gain some extra profit in terms of your real estate investment. So it's good to activate the west sector. Okay, so there. West sector is good for the real estate. Okay, next is the southwest. Okay, so southwest, you may experience if your bedroom is in this location or your office is in this location, and if there are badge forms outside your southwest area, then basically some arguments and disputes can be expected. I don't want to say expected, but at least you may notice a lot of arguments for the rest of the month. Okay, and in addition to that, especially if you're in the leadership position, you might experience some backstabbing within your subordinates or your staff. Okay, so if you're currently staying in the sector, please move to a different sector. I would advise the center or the northeast instead of the southwest. Okay. All right. By the way, for the southwest sector, say you cannot move to a different location and you are planning on new ventures for the rest of the months or in the next coming months, keep it to yourself. Do not share it to anybody, because sharing it to anyone might actually bring unfortunate or negative outcome. Okay. Next. Okay, if you're in the metal industry, south is a good sector to activate. You may experience metal industries, yes, engineering or mining. Okay, you may experience some boom in terms of your business for the rest of the month. And if you're currently investing in stocks, you might see some increase within the month. Okay, great. Next, for the southeast, this is not really a good sector for the rest of the year. And particularly for this month, you may experience a lot of financial losses if you are not conservative of your finances. And if you do not manage your funds, you may experience some financial losses or unwanted financial losses. And in addition to that, if you're currently sleeping in this sector, this might actually trigger some arguments within your relationship, or yes, disagreements within your relationship. So my advice is to move your bed, or yes, to a different bedroom. If you can't, at least if you can't move and your room is really in the southeast sector and you cannot move around, what you can do is to demarcate into a smaller size based on your room size, and then find the other sectors like the north, south, okay, sector, taiji, what we call that. So you demarcate the 9 grid into a smaller size based on your bedroom, and then just select and move your bed around instead of worrying into different or moving into a different room. Okay. Next is the northwest. Now this can be triggered further if there is a negative form outside your northwest sector. So there is a possibility, if you have a negative form outside the northwest, there is a possibility the business venture might have some negative outcome. Okay, and then if you are currently in the real estate, then this might even trigger some legal entanglements or issues that you have to deal with in terms of your property. All right. Okay, so that's it for the Feng Shui. So you have any questions? Hi, Miss. Okay. Which argument star? Are we looking at the southwest? Which? Okay, next is, yes, center is good for your career, so do activate it. Okay, so for yes, congratulations, Yan. Yes, you have a good, perfect location, especially for the month. Okay, for Miss Joanne, it's the southwest. It's best if the external forms are bad. I would advise to actually move to a different sector. Okay, to a different sector for the rest of 20 for this month only, even just for this month. It's okay. It depends on how long do you actually stay. Okay, there's a clarification from Miss Joanne. Our dining area is in the southwest, and so as us, our dining table is actually located in the southwest. It actually varies depending on how long you actually stay in the dining table. If you frequently stay in the dining table, then it's going to cause some problems. But if you're just there to actually eat and you don't stay there for like more than an hour, then it's not a problem. Okay? An hour a day, that's not a problem. And then you just eat and then that's it. And then you move on to your family room, then that's fine. Okay? I hope that's clear. You don't have to worry. Other questions? Is that clear, Miss Joanne? I hope that's clear. If you can't move, My TV is in the, sorry. Okay, my TV is at the southwest. Should I put the NE or yes? If you can actually move your TV around, I would suggest the northeast instead. Okay, northeast is better instead of the east. Although it's good, but if you don't want to be irritable, then stay in the northeast. It's best to use the northeast sector. Okay. Okay, this is okay, so Jovi is asking if she's staying in the center. Okay, so I need to translate in English because I have a lot of clients who are, yes, from abroad who are also not Filipinos. But anyways, okay, so what if I actually activate the center and which facing should I face? Then I would prefer to follow your 8 mansions. Do you still remember your 8 mansions, your favorable direction? So use your favorable direction. And then Shenki in particular. So if you, this is all about career development or yes, career or business, then you use the Shenki because Shenki is all about creation, anything that we produce. Okay, so there. Okay. Pero para kay I'll explain to Miss Jovi in Tagalog. Okay, so pagka nasa center po tayo, ma'am, no, kahit ano naman ay ang harap natin. Pero kung gusto natin gamitin 2 layers ng Feng Shui, 8 mansions, harapin natin yung favorable direction. Alright. Okay. Other question? No more. Good question. Okay, I think clarification ito. Sorry. This is to clarify Miss Jovi's question. It's actually facing when we're talking about H mansion. Yes. Keyman is different. When we talk about the keyman, we actually look at the back facing. But when it comes to the 8 mansions or yes, the favorable direction, then we look at the facing. Okay, so in terms of the another layer, if you want to put and use another layer of Feng Shui, which is the 8 mansion, we focus on the facing, and then for Kimen, back facing. Yes. Slowly, I'll be including Kimen into my video. It's one of the hardest subject that I have to actually analyze and read, but I actually love it. I cannot live without Kimen, but I love it so much. Okay, so I will actually eventually include Kimen in my forecasting. I just need to further increase my knowledge. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so this is a good question. I'm curious, ma'am. Monthly star 5 is in the south in the month of June. If a person's day pillar is 4, so what's the impact to the spouse? Okay, so if there is a flying, if you're currently, are you staying in the flying star sector? sorry, Flying Star 5 sector, the south sector. And is this your Kwa? Your is your Kwa 9? Because this depends, okay? This depends if your Kwa is actually in the south sector, and you're also staying in the south sector. Oh, okay, then don't have to worry. Okay, you don't have to. Okay, all right. Who's south sector is Kwa 9. Okay, so the only time we're worried about the placement of the yearly or even monthly stars in every sector if the sector affects our Kwa. Okay, now if you're not staying in the south sector, then you don't have to worry about it. And if you have a horse, however, in the month of for this in your chart, and this month is actually a horse, then that's not a problem because the clashing animal. This is actually June. June is a horse month, and the clashing animal that yes of the horse is a rat. And then if you have a rat in your natal chart, then you might find yourself a bit more volatile in terms of your emotion because of the clashing element of fire and water. I hope you get to catch my drift. But the good thing is for the month of June, there is wood, the Ja wood, so it at least balances out the energies if you have a rat in your chart. Okay, so you don't have to worry, Miss Joanne. Seems that nothing is affected at all based on your Kwa and based on your location and based on your natal chart. Okay. All right. Hopefully, yes. Yes, hopefully. So it's easier for us or for as fellow Filipinos to actually understand Kimen and use this in your life. No? I'm actually happy. I was not able to see you in my last course, Miss Jovi. I think you're supposed to join. But next, don't worry. Next year I'm going to open another, and it's going to be my flagship module for beginners, and then I'm going to add more for intermediate and then advanced. Okay, so and then of course we'll have Kimen. All right. Are there questions? Okay, welcome. Welcome. No more questions? I'll wait for another minute. Thank you, Miss Jovi. Okay. We'll have another naman next year. Sorry. Yeah. We'll have another next year. And I'll see you hopefully in my Tagalog version, Miss Jovi, so we can talk freely, no? In Tagalog. I'm actually happy to say that because we have English and Tagalog version, I'm actually getting a lot of clients from abroad that are from different countries. No, so I'm very happy. So yes, so I'm happy. Thank you so much for choosing me to serve you. Okay, I will do this next time. Even if the FB Live petrifies me so much, it makes me so nervous. But it's much more engaging because you get to ask more questions. Yes, thank you, Miss Joanne. Yes, I am very happy that I'm getting more and more clients from abroad and even locally. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, all right. No more questions? Going once? Going twice? No more, okay. Okay. Few seconds. Okay, all right. Okay, so 1 minute is up. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again. I will do this again, of course. I will always do them monthly. It's a matter of Zoom or live via FB, but I will do the FB again. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.